Welcome to Shine.fm's A Closer Look podcast, going a little deeper into the hearts and lives of the artists you hear on Shine.fm.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this today.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
So what are you doing to fill your time these days?
God, right now, probably 3/4 of my day is spent staring at CNBC.
Right.
Right. So it's just watching the stock market because things have been so volatile and crazy. It's like a hobby of mine, which has turned into an obsession in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm also producing somebody else's record. So I'm working on that pretty often as well. Those two things.
Gotcha.
Doing some live concerts. I did one 2 days ago, and I'll do another one in 2 days.
Awesome. So with a live concert, do you feel that is a way right now that you can continue to encourage listeners who aren't able to go to shows?
Yeah, kind of. It feels so not personal. I really hate doing live concerts on the internet because it really just feels like I'm sitting in my room by myself, even though I know mentally that that's not what's happening. That's what feels like is happening while I'm doing a live show on the internet. I'm sure that there is some truth to that, is that it's encouraging listeners while they're sitting at home, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Gotcha. So you're at home then with your wife, your son, for the time being. So how are you taking advantage of this family time?
It's been great. I've got a 2-year-old kid, almost 2. He'll be 2 in May. And my wife is having another kid in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, 2 kiddies, lots of hanging out. My kid is a wild child. So he runs all over the place. I actually posted a video on Instagram recently of the majority of what this self-quarantine looks like.
He's running down the stairs, right?
He runs down the stairs at the beginning, but the entire video is what he does all day, every day, which is, if you're not paying attention to him, he'll walk up and continually go, da, 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 da. And then I'll finally be like, yeah, what? And he'll be like, and he wants to point at his shoes. Yeah, those are your shoes. And he'll go, yeah. And then back to it again. Da, 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 da. You should go watch that video on Instagram.
I'll watch the whole thing.
It's really funny. I think it's really funny, but I'm also his dad, so I'm not exactly sure how funny things are.
Right.
I'm biased.
With being at home, not being able to do concerts like normal, what is a way that listeners can encourage you?
The Dunn family could use some prayer, right? This has been the worst beginning of any year of my life currently. Mm-hmm. Now, we had my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly right after they'd moved to Nashville. And so that's how the year started. Then we got hit by the tornado. Do you live in Nashville, Megan?
No, I'm actually right now, because of the work from home kind of thing, I'm in Indiana.
Okay, great. I love Indiana. Well, Nashville got hit by a tornado pretty hard, and we got smoked specifically. Had some serious property damage. And then the coronavirus is kind of heaped on top of that. So even getting it fixed or getting in touch with the city has been an impossibility. So we're just sort of sitting with all of this junk happening, and then the stock market's crashed. And it feels a little bit to me like a Job season of my family's life. And so we could use some prayer.
For sure.
A lot of it to continue to believe what I know to be true, right? I know that the Lord is working all things for the best, right? The Father who loves is actually making things happen that will be best for us. And so convincing the rest of me of what my head knows is what I need prayer for.
Well, with your new album, I feel that just listening to some of the songs, a lot of the songs right now are so timely, starting now. Are you looking at your album in a sense in a new way?
I don't know if I'm looking at it in a new way. I will say that I have done a decent amount of rehashing over the things that I learned while writing the record, right? Almost every record I've ever made, it is you're watching me learn about the things that I'm writing, right? That is in general what I'm attempting to do is go, here's my life. here are the things that I've been experiencing and learning and growing in over the last whatever period of time. And so I think what is happening to me with this record is I'm being tested on the things that I learned to make the record. So it is very timely for me because I'm having to relearn things that I already learned, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me about Starting Now. That's one of the songs that Shine.fm has recently been playing. But what is the story behind that one?
So Starting Now is a, well, let me tell you about the record first before I talk about specific songs. Perspectives, that record is the whole project is about kind of looking at things that we tend to make assumptions at and re-envisioning them to be something different, right? So the importance of perspective at large. A goofy example is, how cold does it get in Indiana?
Oh, goodness.
It's cold in Indiana.
It's like 40s today.
Okay, all right. So I'm from Texas.
Yes.
And if I say it's really cold outside, it means something completely different than if you say it's really cold outside, right? Yes. And that's really just because of perspective. It's not that I'm wrong and you're right. It's just, this is the way the world looks to me and it looks to you because of our circumstances. And the entirety of our universe is a matter of perspective. Even our relationship to God is a matter of perspective. And so Starting Now is an in-depth look at doubt, which we tend to think about, us believers tend to think about as like a super negative thing. And I just disagree with that. Right? I think doubt is the beginning of wisdom. Is that by doubting, you are opening yourself up to the possibility that you could be wrong because of perspective. And without that admission that you might be wrong, there is no way for you to determine truth. Even the Bible, right? The Bible is a book that is truth. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that humans have to interpret the truth and then ingest. And we are terrible at that because of our own perspectives.
Yes.
And so Starting Now is me going, I have no idea what's happening, right? Is this champion of theology and this champion of theology read the same passage and come to polar opposite views?
Right.
John Piper and Rob Bell, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum and they're using the same book to come to opposite ends of the spectrum. So how am I supposed to know? And the answer is, I don't know.
Right.
Right. And that's okay. Being okay with not knowing. And so Starting Now is going, that's what faith is I'm going to do my best to know and then be open to the possibility of being wrong. And that's where faith comes in.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. In this season where many people might be doubting God's goodness and where God is and what he's doing, what is something you would love to say to encourage somebody right now?
Me too. I will say me too. In a season where people are doubting God's goodness, I also doubt God's goodness. Mm-hmm. And I know with my brain that that's a stupid thing to do. That God is goodness. There is no goodness without him. He encompasses goodness. And he loves and wants the best for all of us. But that is a difficult thing to believe with all of me in the current climate and situation. So I am with you to encourage you. I am with you. I'm not even sure if that's an encouragement, but I am with you in doubting God's goodness. And the only thing I can really say is he is, right? Mm-hmm. He is good. And I'm continuing to try to remind myself of what I know, to have what I know sink into me. So I know that to be the truth. And still I am going, what the heck is he doing? This doesn't make any sense.
I think it's something that, well, I mean, I myself have done as well, because I'm a college student. My graduation is questionable. So many other people have lost things that they were looking forward to, or they've lost all their sense of normalcy. And so it's so easy right now to think, God, what are you doing? And I think there are some blessings that have come out of this, in a sense, that some people are spending more time with family. Some are seeing neighbors or talking to neighbors they haven't talked to before. So have you seen any positives from this season of life right now? Any blessings that you see God working in your life?
No.
Okay. Which is okay.
I think maybe that there will be.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's what I actually believe. I think hindsight sometime is a really good teacher. There's a decent amount of perspective shift. A lot of times the worst thing to ever happen to you in hindsight actually looks like the best, right? That's the difference in perspective shift.
Yeah.
But sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know, and we won't ever know what the Lord was doing and why that was best for us. So I'm in the middle of it still. And I'm like, for me to see a perspective shift to where I go, oh no, this is probably a really good thing. I'm not there yet. So ask me in a couple months and maybe I'll have a different answer for you.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. I don't know if there's anything else you'd love to share, or just to encourage listeners, or to share about what's going on in your life or with your music right now. But
yeah, well, the record is coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
On Friday. So if you want to go listen to that, you can kind of see where I've been for like the last 2 years and am currently in. So I don't think I have anything else to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. And we pray, of course, for you, your family, and that in this time of life that God would reveal himself to you in a way that you really need right now.
Great. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks for listening to A Closer Look. For more content like this, subscribe to the Shine.fm podcast channel from Olivet Nazarene University.